welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. It is the day after another win, and another big win at that. The winner of Ferencvaros has continued our confidence, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing here the high-quality display we saw from Ousmane Dembele, and also focusing on the young Ousmane Dembele at centre-back. And of course, we are also going to put aside a little bit of time to discuss those big Neymar quotes on Lionel Messi. Was he talking about a possible return? Or was he talking about Messi to Paris Saint-Germain? It's all discussed in today's video, so let's get to it. Because first of all, I want to hit you with some quick fire stats and ultimately some records from Barcelona yesterday, because we are now, after that victory, the only team remaining in the Champions League with a 100% record in the group stage this season, which is absolutely fantastic. And of course, it was our third win in a row and our third clean sheet in a row as well. Griezmann scored his third in consecutive games, the longest scoring streak that he's been on since signing for Barcelona. And exactly the same goes for Martin Braithwaite. Barca also scored 3+ goals in 2 consecutive away Champions League games for the first time since 2012. And for the very first time in our entire history, we've won 3 consecutive away games with a clean sheet in the Champions League. We've never done that before. This is impressive. And speaking of those clean sheets that we have got over the past 3 games, we simply have to talk about the young Ousmane Dembele, who just over 1 week ago, against Dynamo Kiev in the Champions League away from home, he was drafted in from absolutely nowhere. We had an injury crisis at centre-back, we were really struggling for numbers, and he was thrown in there, very much so, at the deep end. And I tell you what, he has never looked back. 3 games on, 3 clean sheets later, he's been outstanding. And to be honest, for me, I said yesterday on social media, he has been that good that you don't actually notice him. After the game yesterday, he wasn't exactly the first player that you'd speak about. But for a young centre-back, that's actually a compliment. The fact that we're not noticing him, the fact that he doesn't look out of place, that speaks volumes. He's not making mistakes. He has slotted in absolutely seamlessly. And right now, he looks as though he belongs at the heart of this defence, and he's doing so well. Another man, of course, though, who we simply have to discuss was the man who stole all of the headlines in yesterday's game, not just in the first half there, where he was a big part of Barcelona's goals in that opening half an hour, but also in the second half there, where he completed some absolutely sensational individual moments. He deserved to have more goals, and of course he ended the game with the captain's armband there in a Barcelona shirt. And I honestly think that watching Dembele yesterday, when he's in full flight like that, when he's fully fit, when he clearly has now a bit of confidence about his game, it is simply a joy to watch him. It doesn't matter whether you're a Barca fan, whether you're a fan of another club, Dembele is the kind of player that you always want to watch because he's exciting. He gets you off your seat. Time and time again, he will look to do something and be destructive and look to be creative. And I was just so excited yesterday once again by what we saw from him. And honestly, it's great to see him not only playing this well, but staying in shape. That is brilliant. Now, the one thing that you would say from Dembele's performance yesterday, what I just said there, basically, that he could have had many more goals on the night, and probably he should have done. Obviously, he scored there brilliantly, nice and composed from the penalty spot, but he could have easily added a second, and probably even a third. It wouldn't have been any surprise whatsoever if he walked away from yesterday's game with a hat-trick, but he just lacked there, I felt, that killer touch in front of goal. But you know what, for me, that's not a problem right now. I think that's something certainly in his game that he will have to develop, that he's looking to develop. I think as the time goes on, I think maybe it would be a good idea there to do something similar to what Braithwaite did and actually work closely with Henrik Larsson. He's at the club, of course. He had a fantastic instinct in front of goal. It would be great to share that knowledge, share that kind of experience with young Ousmane, because that's the point here. He's still only 23 years old. This is a player that, although we've missed much of him over the past few seasons, he's not been involved anywhere close to what we wanted. He's still young, though. He is still a player here who is developing, and when that killer touch comes, when he starts converting those kind of chances, his numbers, they're going to be outstanding. And as a result of that good form so far this season and the fact that Dembele has stayed nice and fit, of course there are going to be talks now about his contract situation. Right now his contract expires in June 2022, which means that this coming summer he could move in there to the final year of his deal. And of course, we do not want to be losing this guy for free, far, far from it, and we want him to continue at the club. Now, ESPN right now claim that Barcelona have already opened talks with Dembele over a new contract at the club, and I was just wondering how you guys felt about this potential new deal for Dembele, and ultimately, how much of a high priority do you feel it is? Do you feel as though right now Dembele needs to be one of the first names in this entire team that we need to renew? Are you really, really looking here to keep him at the club no matter what it takes? Are you somebody who would maybe like to see him stay but wouldn't necessarily mind if he left? Or do you feel as though the club shouldn't offer Dembele a new deal? And that's today's question, because for me, I think the club are right there to already be taking those steps, and you just want to see him continuing what we saw yesterday, putting away those chances in front of goal. And of course we all know about his creative quality. This guy can rack up serious numbers, and that's going to be huge for this team. And speaking of contract situations, from Dembele here to Lionel Messi, who, as we know, going into 2021, he is going to be available there. If he doesn't renew at Barcelona, he's going to be available on a free transfer. And somebody yesterday who was talking about linking up with Messi was none other than his old teammate, Neymar Jr., who scored twice, coincidentally, as PSG beat Man United at Old Trafford last night in what was truly there a must-win game for Paris Saint-Germain in Group H, and Neymar was absolutely outstanding on the day, it does have to be said. But it was his words after the game which certainly there brought about all of the headlines. He was in quite a joking mood, he was in quite a happy mood there after securing that victory, and he said the following words. He said, "What I want most is to play with Messi again." He said, "To be able to enjoy being on the pitch with him again, I want to play with him again, and I'm sure that next season we have to do that." And I think, to be honest, after the game, looking at those quotes immediately coming out, it was a bit of a shock that Neymar had quite openly said that. But then actually, when you look further into those quotes, you didn't really know what way to take it. You didn't know there whether Neymar was on about returning again to Barcelona. He's made no secret in the past of his desire to do that. Or was he actually talking about Messi joining him at Paris Saint-Germain? And honestly, to be honest, I would say the latter right now. I think Neymar knows there's no chance that Barcelona can actually bring him back. Our financial situation simply would not allow that. And with Messi's contract running down, maybe Neymar feels as though he could tempt Messi into joining him in Paris. And he's not the only one either from PSG, because Leandro Paredes, of course Lionel Messi's Argentinian teammate with the national team, he has also come out and said, "We all want him to come, but it will be his decision. We have an incredible squad, we have good players, good people, but I hope Leo will make the best choice for himself. We would welcome him with open arms." And again, guys, I'm certainly very, very interested in how you interpret these quotes, into how you think the future may look for Lionel Messi. Do you see him renewing at Barcelona and staying here? Of course, it is going to depend very much so on who the next president is and the project they bring to the club. But in any case, if he was to end up leaving Barca, could you ever see him joining Paris Saint-Germain? Could you ever see that move really happening? Because, of course, every time that he's been linked away from the club, it's always been there. Man City, they were the front runners. Pep Guardiola, of course, has a massive pull there when it comes to Messi. But could you ever see him swapping the Camp Nou for the Parc des Princes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because Neymar, he's certainly got people talking, as he usually does. So that right there, guys, is the latest when it comes to Barcelona. Another really promising victory yesterday that has kept our confidence going and has kept the smile on our faces. That's the way we like it. And hopefully we can continue that this coming weekend. Tomorrow, of course, all the build-up will begin for Cadiz against Barca. That's not going to be an easy game, and we're going to be discussing it all right here on the channel and over on MORETALKFCB. I will see you soon for that, guys. I'm excited for it. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.